Alright, folks, we're back here on 101, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a special edition of 101 because now we have our round table. We have Steven with us, and we also have Josh Jepson with us. And hopefully we hope to have more people join us as this roundtable discussion gets going. So, Josh, Steven, first of all, thank you both for taking out time out of your busy schedule to be here.
Anytime, Carter.
All right.
No problem.
But guys, we all heard the interview of Ryan Johnson just a couple minutes ago. We all heard it. We all heard his comments of what he said. So I'll start out with you, Steven. I mean, you think he was being honest?
I think some parts were honesty, and I also think that he was trying to dig a hole and try to get past this one again.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think more than likely, his car career is finished. At least in my opinion, his car career is finished. I mean, you think so too?
Oh yeah, it's over. It's done.
Yes, definitely.
I'm telling you, Josh, because Ryan during the interview, he admitted that he never did like your call, Dwayne Chambers. In fact, I mean, he was biased towards Dwayne Chambers, which that's something which I saw because because I always look over what they book. I always watch over what they book, and I saw the upcoming episodes which we have planned for NAW South, in which Dwayne Chambers gets squashed every single time.
Oh, is that the plan? I hear.
And I was asking, because this is when he was still in the booking group, Steven. And when he was still in the booking group, now I asked him, I said, why do we have Dwayne Chambers squash, almost every episode? And he said because Dwayne Chambers is going to be the jobber.
I can answer that myself. Ryan does not like Dwayne in any way. He just wants Dwayne to be a jobber.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants Dwayne to fail. He doesn't want Dwayne to be a champion at all. And
well,
I can understand why, considering how everyone hates his call.
Steven, I'm turning back to you and ask you this question. Have you ever seen booking like that before? I mean, you dislike a call so much that you gonna have them get squashed almost every single episode. Have you ever seen booking done like that before?
No, I haven't. That sounds a little ridiculous to me as well. I think Ryan's trying to, shield himself from other people by making other people job. And
I think I get where it's coming from, because when Ryan had Mr. Death, and no one liked him, and everyone wanted him to be a jobber. So I think he picked me. He picked my main call to cover up for the whole Mr. Death and Chris Cruz being a jobber thing, because just no one likes those guys.
Well, Josh, I should have stated this from the get-go. Try not to interrupt somebody when they're talking.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's okay. But,
Okay.
Steven, go ahead with what you were saying before Josh interrupted.
well, as I said, I never seen booking like that since I've been around the call. But as I was trying to say before, I think he's trying to shield himself from other people because everybody. Yeah, I'm sorry, Josh, for saying this, but everybody was making jokes on Dwayne Chambers, and then when everybody went to Mr. Death, I guess Ryan thought, oh, let's use Dwayne Chambers the job and see if people can go back to him.
Oh, I know exactly where Ryan came from. He wanted to use Mr. Soccer Player to defend himself.
Well, let me ask you about this question, and I ask you first, Josh. In your opinion, because during the interview, Ryan said that, in a way he spoke to David, and David, when David came up with that accusation that Ryan never did like the poison bee call. I mean, you think Ryan's trying to point blame back to David?
Ryan and David have a special relationship, not a gay kind, but to where they never want to disagree, and they find a way to do it, and they always pin it on someone else. I have been caught in that, and many times, and so have both of you. And now back to the call. Ryan says that he does not like a bunch of calls when he really does. I mean, he even used to say that he liked Dwayne. But once Mr. Soccer Player came in, then he decided to protect his cause. He used to like Dwayne, and now he says Dwayne deserves to be a jobber.
Mm-hmm. All right. Steven?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll repeat this question again. I mean, I think that, well, let me go ahead and tell my point of view, because this happened in the booking group. I mean, I have never in my born days have ever seen someone trying to push their car to the moon overnight. I have never seen something like that before. I mean, because when Ryan was in the booking group, he always wanted to push, Chris Cruz over someone, and just push people to the moon. Did you believe, Steven, that Ryan was behind this whole Poison Be Over, Brent Harvinator, Connor Ryan, and Smokey situation?
Yeah, I do believe, since all fingers are pointing to Ryan, and as I said on the other show, Smoke Room, when I approached Ryan, when I questioned him, saying, "Did he say it?" He'd immediately turn into his defense system on and blame TC for everything, and then went to go blame David. And I don't get why David is covering his behind, because David actually got past this one by admitting some of the stuff, so he's good, but Ryan is just will blame anybody else just to save his ass.
Go ahead, Josh.
Can you repeat the question?
Well, I just want to get your opinion on what Steven just said.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the same question. Anyway, Ryan will cover his behind, just like Steven said. He will blame anyone and anything. A lot of times I entered a chat and he was like, "Josh, you asshole," and I was like, "What?" And yeah, Ryan can easily get defensive, so a lot of times you have to watch him out with him.
I have to agree. And I can bring up another situation about what Ryan said during the interview. Ryan's thought was that, if Poison B goes over Conor Ryan, it will be no big deal. Obviously, it's a big deal. Obviously. In your minds, I'll start off with you, Josh. In your mind, what was Ryan thinking of putting Poison B over Conor Ryan?
That's a really hard one. I don't know what Ryan thought he was trying to do by having Poison B go over Conor Ryan. Burbs Call, the owner of the Vivianverse, he tried to have Poison B go over Conor Ryan, and that was a bad idea from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Steven, do you know what Ryan was thinking?
Ryan thinks? When does this happen? I'll answer it. I think that he wasn't thinking at all, to be honest. I think he just wanted to book a match and try. I think he was trying to kiss Poison B's ass, because his call is in wrestling heaven. So I think he was trying to kiss the owner's ass by making his popularity go up, which made it drop so much.
Mm-hmm. And we did receive word from yesterday that Chris Cruz is out of both wrestling heaven and he's out of NAW South. Y'all know what the future lies in store for him?
If I'm correct, then it was actually 4 leagues, including mine, of course, and that means Chris Cruz is out of BFWH too.
Mm-hmm. But I think
that's probably the one smart thing Tyson has ever done.
Well, I think obviously, and Steven, I'll turn my attention back to you. What do you think? Where does Ryan go from here? Where do you think he goes from here?
I think he's done. he's saying that he's sorry, he has nothing to do with it, and, he's just lying right there, saying he's not doing anything. I think he's not going to go anywhere. I think he just has to leave Call and find a new hobby, because obviously Call is not his hobby anymore.
Obviously. Josh, what do you think? Where do you think Ryan goes from here?
Not Call, that's for sure. I'm gonna have to, I think the only thing that he can really do is just try to find a new hobby that does not involve Call. If he gets involved in anything involving Call, then he is going to get so much hate. And Smokey will quit, so we're going to see where things go from here.
Well, obviously the future doesn't look too bright for him. But before we bring this discussion to a close, I want to turn our attentions to David. Do you guys think that David should share the blame in this?
Who, you want to go first, Josh, or me?
You can go.
Oh, well, the other day, David was talking to Oshu Jax, and he was talking to a lot of us, and he actually admitted to some of the stuff that what Ryan was doing. So I think that David dodged this one by, like, an inch of his hair. I think he dodged a big boy, and hopefully he learns not to follow in the steps of Ryan. I don't think they should blame him.
I gotta to Steven. I fear that David's gonna let his emotions get ahead of him. He's gonna try to save Ryan, and that could also, well, he did try to save Ryan. That could have cost him his career in Call too. But I wouldn't really blame David for this. I mean, David didn't really book the match. I don't even think David agreed to having his own Call beat Conor Wine.
No, I think I could tell you about that in the interview, because Ryan said that it was TC's idea, and we're gonna bring up TC later. But Ryan said it was TC's idea to have David Ella go over Conor Ryan, and Ryan pushed the idea. I mean, what's your guys' take on that?
That is a lie dead to the face. I am not even kidding. TC would not just go out and say, "Oh, I think Forza Me or David Arrow should go over Conor Wine." I mean, that's just a stupid idea. I mean, TC's been in the Call for a while. He should know what the right stuff are.
Yeah, that's definitely not TC at all. As long as I've known him, which has been for, like, I think 4 or 5 months, TC would never make that stupidest decision ever.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that obviously, I'll be honest. I think Ryan is trying to save whatever dignity he has left. I think Ryan's trying to, put like a save face, trying to save whatever career that he has left in Call. But I honestly do think that he's finished in CAW. I think he's obviously finished.
Ryan was... Oh.
Go ahead, Josh.
Ryan was trying to stay behind in Call once again, even though he's the one who quit. He's still trying to blame it on TC. I mean, if you can ask him any day of the week, any minute, any hour, any second, he'll blame TC for not this entire thing, but he'll blame TC for coming up with the idea, and I think that's just a load of crap.
Well, let me explain that situation to you guys, because it was my idea to have the feud between David Arrow and Conor Wine. But it was not my idea for David Arrow to win. Let me stress that out one more time. It was not my idea for David Arrow to win. Apparently, Ryan just took that idea, trying to mix it up and just run away with it, saying that it would enhance the rivalry, in which it's like as if it was one big joke.
Well, yes, Carter, I have something to say off of that. You said in your interview with Smokey about this, how this entire thing went down. You had to get off for a while to work on some other stuff.
Yeah.
And while you were gone, you came back and you just saw this whole massacre came down. and it involved WCW and NAW and LaMarcus Carter being taken out of the Vivianverse, and LaMarcus would be a jobber in new WWE, and you just had to find out what was going on, and it was that, and just that one sentence caused this whole massacre to happen.
Mm-hmm. But go ahead, Steven, because I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I actually have a question. Carter, were you actually, like, there when Ryan started to book all this?
I was offline, Steven. I was offline, and let me explain this whole thing. The thing which Ryan doesn't like, he said it was a 3-1 decision. We all voted for it. It's 3-1. What I think Ryan has to learn is that every Fed, I don't care wherever you go, every car Fed has a head booker. And
going there, Carter. Take WH for example. I would guess that would be, I don't know, Nathan. If it was WCW, it'd be you, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I would go for WTWE. Basically, all feds go with either the main owner or the person, like second head in charge. And like you said, even if it's 3-1, the person that does not like it, if they are the owner or second in command, they have to go with it. I mean, it's like 3 employees trying to say that they want one thing to be different, but the boss doesn't want that, and what the boss wants is to things stay the same. And if they can't deal with that, then too bad, so sad.
Mm-hmm. Also, another thing to add on to that, with Ryan with Wrestling Heaven, since he used to book it, Nathan actually asked me to commentate the SmackDown show, and then Ryan fires back saying, "Oh, well, I'm the booker, and I don't want Steven to commentate it since I booked SmackDown." And then, Nathan was like, "Well, that's not going to happen because I'm the owner of the Fed, and what I say goes, and he has the final call on everything." And I don't think Ryan gets that. I think, even though if you put it to a vote, as Carter said, there was one main booker, the head booker, that will make the final call and everything, and Ryan does not get that at all.
No, and I think, like I said, back to that situation, Ryan had an idea of putting David Arrow over Conor Ryan. Now, I said no, because I know exactly what was going to happen if we was going to go with that storyline of David Arrow going over Conor Ryan. Can you imagine how much hate NAW South would be getting? And
NAW and WCW will be taken out of the Vivianverse, because I'm pretty sure Burb does not want her car to lose to, at least in her opinion, a jobber.
Yeah, and that's why I said no. And of course, Ryan and David, I guess Ryan didn't like the decision. He quit, and David, followed him. And I think that's David's main problem. David's main problem is that, if Ryan says something which David likes, David would agree with it. And when Ryan quits, David would follow suit.
Yeah, I have to add on to that too, because a lot of times I've run into a situation where either me and David are in a fight or me and Ryan are in a fight, and say it's me and Ryan. Me and Ryan had this fight once where apparently out of nowhere, David joined in and David started attacking me too.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens that used to happen really often, like just so often that sometimes you just get so annoyed you probably have to leave the group for a while and just stay away from those two, because those two will attack you like there's no tomorrow.
But let me ask you this question, Steven. You think David saved himself from this one?
Oh yeah, as everybody knows how Ocean Jax is and what he says, and David actually did save himself for this because Ocean Jax even said that he did, because David actually admitted to some of the stuff, saying, "Yo, I didn't even know my call was going over Connor won. I didn't even know this was happening. I didn't even agree to this, and I think that's what saved David.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Josh.
I'm beginning to think if Ryan likes David so much that he likes his call more than David, Ryan tries to book David's call more than David is online. I was talking about this. Me and David and Ben and Nathan, a lot of guys in the WWE group agreed that there would be a Chris Core David Arrow rivalry.
Yeah.
And Chris Core would go over David Arrow, and this is long after we all figured it out. Then one time Ryan came on, we told him about how we only got to David Arrow versus Chris Core, and he was just like, Chris Core drops to David Arrow, and that's all he said. And then, like, even David said no. David did not like that idea. David did not want to be in a jobber rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was we just said no, Chris Core will beat David Arrow, and then Ryan just got, like, he's like, we cannot have this jobber beat David Arrow. He just got, like, so mad. He left the group, and he does not want Chris Core to beat David Arrow, and that's the way it's going to go down. I mean, I want the owner, I say what goes, except it's opposite, because everyone else agreed to it, and Ryan just did not want David to. Ryan wanted David to make Chris Core job, and it's not going to go down that way.
Go ahead, Steven.
And sorry for interrupting, and I just have to get this off the chest here. Ryan needs to learn how to take sacrifices for cause. I mean, losing is not that bad. I mean, that's what builds your call up. I mean, you could have the biggest losing streak in call, then all of a sudden it wins a match out of nowhere, and that can start your popularity, get on the rising chain to the top where everybody else is. But, Ryan just wants to, as Carter said, push the calls to the moon. He's turning into, and I'm sorry for saying this, but he's turning into Nathan, what Nathan was a couple of months ago. About how Nathan pushed his call to be the Wrestling Heaven champion for 9 months, and then Nathan stopped that, but now Ryan is doing the same thing. He wants to put his calls over everybody else, which that's not how it's going.
Ryan was turning into the very thing I despise and call self-pushers, who do nothing but push their own cause to the moon and beyond, and it's just annoying. That's what Nathan used to be, but thank God he stopped. I mean, it took like 5 people just to make him realize. And now he's known, but Ryan still wants to push certain cause to the moon and beyond. And it's not going to work like that, because I don't know about some leagues, but in my league at least, everyone gets a win. No one jobbed except for jobber.
Absolutely. And before we go, guys, I guess what's going to happen with Wrestling Heaven is that I guess they're going to have a TV title, either a TV title battle royal or a TV title tournament, whichever happens now that Chris Cruz is off the roster. The TV title, if I think it's vacant, at least I think it is now that Chris Cruz is off the roster. So, guys, let me just, in closing, let me just ask you both this question. I mean, what does CAW mean to you?
Steven, you want to take this one?
It's a hard question. I've never been asked this before. What does CAW mean to me? Well, I think it's just a hobby that people come around. Like, I came around on call actually back in '08 when I saw a couple of WEDF videos. And then I stopped because, I wasn't really getting into it. Then I came back in last year and watched more WDF, seeing how everything much improved. And then I noticed there was more colleagues. And then, I think what I'm trying to say is that call is a hobby which people try to have fun with. I mean, sure, there will be jokes that will roll around, but I think that's something you just have to get over. Like, I've gotten over that. I mean, you guys should remember me with all the jokes. But yeah, I think that no, not me, Call, I'm stumbling on my words. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, Josh, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to start the same way Steven did. I first saw Call in 2007, early 2007, and late 2007. That's the first time I actually debuted Dwayne. And then, of course, I quit in early 2008 because I had a bunch of real-life problems to deal with, and then I got back in 2012. And now that I see the difference, I'm like, it's just a lot different now. There's a lot more leagues, a lot less camcorder leagues, and what Call means to me is it's supposed to be something where people go to showcase their skills and showcase their cause and their talent, and it's just a great thing to be a part of.
Yeah, and sorry, Carter.
Go ahead, Steven.
And going with what Josh said about showing her talents, and that's another thing. You know, I remember when I was a little kid watching WWE, saying, you know, I want to be a commentator, and that's what got me to evolve Call. You know, Call is where you can live your, I guess, fantasy dreams. I guess that's how you can put it like that. You know, you make yourself a call. You act like if that was you in real life. I mean, you get to commentate it. I mean, there's nothing else that gets better than that. Living like one of your childhood fantasy dreams.
I have to agree. All right, guys. I thank you both for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know we've been talking for almost like going on a half hour, but I think we pretty much got our points across. I think we're pretty much, but we both pretty much know that Ryan Johnson's CAW career, I hate to say it, it's finished. I mean, you don't want to say that about a person, but you know, when a person does something like that, and then continues trying to, you know, cover it up and passing the blame, then, you know, 9 times out of 10, you know, your car career is finished. As the saying goes, you made your bed and now you have to lie in it, and that's exactly what Ryan, you know, he'll have to do now. So, Josh, Steven, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for participating in the roundtable discussion, and we hope to talk to you guys soon.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
All right, and thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Carter.
All right, and thank you guys for tuning in. We shall see you on down the road next time here on One-on-One. Until then, this is C-Car saying goodbye, everyone, and we'll see you real soon.